The following video is intended for mature audiences. It contains horror elements, adult themes, and language that might not be suitable for younger viewers. Welcome to the Southern Underworld, your place for original horror, sci-fi, and thriller content where the stories are always written with heart. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. We'd love to know in what part of the world you are watching and what is your favorite horror movie of all time. Thank you for watching and enjoy the video. Some horror films linger in the mind, but Rosemary's Baby seeps into the bones. It is a slow, insidious terror that gnaws at the psyche, a film that does not rely on grotesque imagery or cheap scares, but instead constructs a labyrinth of paranoia, isolation, and the ultimate betrayal. To watch Rosemary's Baby is to experience horror as an intimate, suffocating force, a creeping nightmare from which there is no waking. I found this film uniquely horrifying, and upon revisiting it years later, the terror only deepened. At the heart of this film lies a simple but devastating question. What if the people you trust most are conspiring against you? This is the foundation of Rosemary's Baby, a horror that emerges not from supernatural forces, but from the betrayal of the familiar, from a world where smiles conceal sinister intent, and where love itself is a mask for manipulation. Rosemary Woodhouse is a picture of delicate innocence. Her waif-like frame, her wide-eyed trust, and her gentle nature make her an ideal victim for a horror that preys on vulnerability. When she and her struggling actor husband, Guy, move into the Bramford, an old New York apartment building with a dark history, there is an immediate sense of unease. It isn't just the ominous past of the Bramford that chills the viewer. It's the suffocating sense of entrapment, of Rosemary unknowingly walking into a web spun around her long before she ever set foot in it. While Rosemary's Baby is often classified as a supernatural horror film, the true horror lies in the character of Guy Woodhouse. There are no sharp teeth or clawed hands, no monstrous transformations or bloody murders. Instead, Guy is the most insidious of monsters, one who smiles, kisses, and whispers reassurances while quietly selling his soul, and worse, the soul of the woman he is supposed to love. Guy's motivations are chilling in their simplicity. Ambition, his career, his desires, his hunger for success, all take precedence over his wife's safety, her body, and ultimately, her sanity. There is something uniquely revolting about the ease with which he discards Rosemary's autonomy. He does not hesitate. He does not struggle with guilt. He merely makes his deal and goes about his life as if his betrayal is just another business transaction. His moral decay is subtle, but it is complete. If horror movies are often about the loss of control, Rosemary's Baby perfects this concept through Guy, a man who hands his wife's body over to forces beyond her comprehension with chilling indifference. Rosemary's suffering is terrifying not only because of what happens to her, but because of how utterly alone she is. The film isolates her, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. Every attempt she makes to regain control is thwarted. Friends become enemies, doctors become conspirators, and even her instincts are turned against her. The gaslighting is relentless. She is told she is hysterical, that she is imagining things, that the pain she feels is normal, and that the horror is all in her head. By the time she pieces together the truth, it is too late. Rosemary's Baby is a study of how easy it is to silence women, to dismiss their fears, to strip them of agency in ways that are so insidious, so casual, that by the time they realize they have been trapped, there is no way out. There have been many horror films about pregnancy, about paranoia, about unseen forces conspiring against a helpless protagonist. But few match the suffocating dread that Rosemary's Baby sustains from beginning to end. Part of this is due to Roman Polanski's meticulous direction, the way he builds horror through mundane conversations, through offhand comments, through the oppressive normalcy of it all. There are no jump scares, no sudden bursts of violence. Instead, the terror is woven into the fabric of everyday life. The Bramford itself becomes a character, a living, breathing entity that looms over Rosemary's suffering. The neighbors, Minnie and Roman Castevet, are grotesque in their cheerfulness, their invasive kindness, and their suffocating presence. There is something deeply unsettling about their forced hospitality, their unnatural interest in Rosemary's pregnancy, and their incessant need to be involved in every aspect of her life. They are, in many ways, caricatures of nosy neighbors, until it becomes clear that their intrusion is far more sinister than simple curiosity. And then there is the dream sequence, a moment of true cinematic horror that defies explanation. It is one of the most unsettling moments in film history, a fever dream of disjointed imagery, whispered voices, and a horror that is only half glimpsed. It is the moment when Rosemary is stripped of all agency, when she is reduced to nothing more than a vessel, and it is terrifying in its methodical violation. Some movies scare and some movies haunt. Rosemary's Baby does the latter. It is a film that lingers in the mind long after the credits roll, not because of what it shows, but because of what it suggests. It is a horror film about trust and betrayal, power and helplessness, about the way evil can wear the face of a lover, a friend, a doctor, or a neighbor. Watching this film is always a terrifying experience. It taps into a primal fear, an unspoken dread of vulnerability and violation. Even now, I cannot imagine how anyone could idly stand by and watch a woman he or she is supposed to love be subjected to such unspeakable horror, all for the sake of fame and advancing a career. Few horror films can claim to be truly timeless, but Rosemary's Baby remains as chilling today as it was in 1968. The themes of control, manipulation, and the stripping away of female autonomy are as relevant now as ever. It is a masterpiece, a nightmare in film form, and one of the most deeply unsettling experiences cinema has ever produced. And now, as I prepare to revisit the updated television adaptation starring Zoe Saldana, I can only wonder, can it possibly capture the same creeping dread? Can it replicate the suffocating terror, the unbearable loneliness, the insidious horror of a world closing in? Only time will tell. But Rosemary's Baby has already secured its place in the annals of horror history, an unshakable reminder of the terror that hides in plain sight. Rosemary's Baby is a psychological and supernatural horror drama that is 2 hours and 17 minutes long and is rated R. The Southern Underworld gives it 5 bloody knives. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Thank you for watching.